This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi was written by Anthony Oksenholt and was published by Oksenholt Biloxi Publishing, LLC. A link to the book will be placed in the description below.
Selling Biloxi Belle and Biloxi Boy Cooking and Fishing is about how to have fun on the water. We're going to do a little bit of cooking. We're going to do a little bit of rebuilding a sailboat. Maybe doing some sailing. We're going to do a whole lot of boating, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun. Thank y'all, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Also, if you like the music, check out my brother Ben Thompson, Barefoot with a Stetson. Name of the song is Barefoot and Ready to Party.
Take a tall glass and fill it with ice. Pour some vodka to make it nice. Then add some rum and a little gin. A shot of tequila for the win. Next comes orange liquor and sweet and sour. Mix a splash of cola, get ready for the kick. You want a drink that'll set you free? Get yourself a Long Island iced tea. A pub on the wharf or a bar on the beach. All the dance moves your friends can teach. A frozen drink with a straw and umbrella, or a premium bottle from a nice wine cellar. A cup of ice and a little Sprite. You're getting ready for a fun night. Add some light rum and a little more. Then passion fruit juice is your next pour. A little lime juice and you're almost done. Now a big shot of 151. You're drinking something that is insane. Enjoy drinking a hurricane. A pub on the wharf or a bar on the beach. All the dance moves your friends can teach. A frozen drink made with Bacardi, bare feet and blue jeans. Get ready to party. Put some cherry brandy in a cup. Grab some ice and fill it up. Add dark rum and light rum too. Then pineapple and papaya juice. Add sugar and get ready for some fun. The last ingredient is 151. Your senses will flood like a tsunami. You're about to drink yourself a zombie. A pub on the wharf or a bar on the beach. All the dance moves your friends can teach. A frozen drink made with Bacardi, bare feet and blue jeans. Get ready to party. Sun, party on the pier. There's nothing wrong with ice cold beer. Get a frozen drink made with Bacardi. Barefoot with a Stetson and ready to party. Barefoot with a Stetson and ready to party. Frozen drinks, warm nights, feeling hearty. Raise a glass, feel the breeze, and you'll see every sip's a vibe when you're drinking carefree.
Alright, y'all. Selling Biloxi Belle. I'm going to talk about this radio I got. I just tried to upload this video and I realized that I did not have my microphone turned on. Well, I'm stupid. Anyway, this is a Standard Horizons Eclipse, and I actually think this is a pretty good radio. I've got the beeps turned off because all that beeping annoys me. But you got all your standard channels. You got your GPS display down here.
In the afternoon, Monday night, cloudy. A chance of showers with a slight chance of...
Got your weather. Got your memory scan, which... Well, hang on. There we go. You can do scans with it. Scan all your favorite channels. I've got a bunch of them in there. Coast Guard, ports, stuff like that locally. Stop scan. Just press the mic. Pretty simple thing to do. Setting up the MMSI number, I got that done pretty easily. I've just got a simple antenna that I have in the in my window over here for my 2-meter ham radio.
Standard time observations for the local area on Saturday, November 26th. In Biloxi, it was cloudy. The visibility was 10 miles.
Nice loud forward firing speaker. And this whole unit is actually very small. Look how small this thing is. Like, that's the whole unit. That's it. So it doesn't have the AIS option. Sorry, I left my tripod in my semi, so I'm having to balance this on a pack of Lucky Strike. Imagine that. Now, if that ain't the essence of this channel, I don't know what is. Anyway, wow, boy, we redneck rigging it over here. We thugging it out. Anyway, so this does not have the AIS receiver. But the one with the AIS receiver is actually going to be coming soon. I picked this up yesterday at West Marine in Biloxi, and it was like, what, $230, $250, something like that. Good radio. I think I'm going to be pretty happy with it. But, as I said, it does not have the AIS receiver. AIS receiver will be going on the sailboat. I'm going to be using this when I move it, but eventually this is going on the dinghy. And the reason it's going on the dinghy is because I don't need AIS on it. I just, I use the dinghy, or I plan on using the dinghy, which is actually not what a lot of y'all see, these inflatable dinghies. I don't, I'm a big guy, man. I'm 300 pounds. I don't trust getting my fat ass on a inflatable dinghy, so I'm going to use a John boat. That's the way I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to put everything on a John boat. That, and we got some barrier islands out there, so that's eventually where this is going to land. And I think that I think it's going to be pretty good setup on there. But as far as for moving the boat, that's fine. If you don't know what AIS is automatic identification system. Most ships and boats have AIS. I am going to have AIS. As I mentioned before, I am a ham radio operator. I am 100% big on communications. So, I like to have all this stuff. I'm just going to scan, see if we can pick somebody up talking. Heard some people earlier that sounded like they were out in the Gulf, maybe out there fishing. But what I want is I want to be sure that I am seen and I can see everybody else. See and be seen. That way you don't get run over. Hear and be heard. That way you don't get run over and you don't get into a collision out there. If you live by that, you shouldn't have any problems. Well, that's just my opinion, y'all. I will say that the time, which is right here, I got it set for local time. That was a little tricky to set up. I had to base it off of UTC because I think that's how it receives it off the GPS satellites. And I had to set my time zone, which I'm in Central Standard Time, which is 6 hours behind UTC. That's how I have our local time here of 10:07, and it matches up with my phone. So, very capable system. Really powerful unit for such a small package and everything in the box like that. I'm happy with it. I'm impressed with it. Y'all take care. If y'all need any questions on how to set things up as far as HF or VHF communications on the water, I do want to run down something real quick. A lot of y'all use cheap coax. Now, I am guilty of that at the moment. That's cheap coax. That's just stuff I had laying around, but this is also for testing purposes only. When it all is permanently installed everywhere it's going, on the dinghy, on the boat, I'm going to be using good quality coax, LMR 400 or better. Because my antenna for it is going to be at the top of my mast. And it's going to be a dual band antenna for 2 meters and 70 centimeters, but it will work on the marine bands. The marine band is actually in pretty close to the 2 meter amateur radio band. So being that I'm going to have that and it's going to be a pretty good antenna, I want to make sure that my signal gets out, and I want to make sure that I can get my signal back to the radio from the antenna. Therefore, using low loss coax, and you can look up, and I'll probably do a whole video on the types of feed line that I'm using for HF, VHF, and UHF. I'm even going to use, and some people's going to call this a waste, I'm going to use LMR 400 on my HF. Just because it's better coax. If you use the cheap stuff, you're losing. You're losing a lot in your transmit power, and these are only 25 watt radios. Now, you can use a modified ham radio, which is actually illegal by FCC rules because it's not type accepted. However, I am able to use it in the case of an emergency because I hold a valid ham license. I can use a modified ham radio if I'm out on the water and I see something that's a threat to life or property. I can actually get on and use, let's just say if I had a 100 watt VHF transceiver, or if I had an amplifier behind it, I can use up to 1500 watts. Not that I recommend that, and I kind of think that's a waste, but I'm just throwing that out there, to reach the Coast Guard and say, hey, send help. But if I want to sit there and bullshit with my buddy about, hey, I'm coming back in the dock, do me a favor and run down and go get me some land shark or some Corona, that's not exactly legal. And that's the difference, y'all. So, just throwing that out there. More on this later. I promise you, this is not my last video I'm going to do on radio communications. Actually, one of my favorite things to demonstrate. I've been a ham radio operator for almost 18 years, and I enjoy it. I've been messing around with radios my entire life. So, y'all take care. Got any questions? Drop them in the comments. I'll be glad to help you out any way I can. Selling Biloxi Belle. Fair winds and following seas, y'all.